In this video, I'm going to review this smallest player in the hottest category in cycling today, the category of mini compressor pumps. Okay, we have a really cool category of pumps these days. Have you guys ever seen these things? These are game changers. So I have a whole battery of these little mini pumps, and I have a bunch more coming. So have you heard of Cycplus? So these are amazing because you can inflate your tire 4.5 times out there with a flat. But even more important, you can set your pressure and perfect it before every ride. So really quite a game changer. They're tiny little things, 120 grams for this guy. And we have a whole battery of them, some featured, some with hoses, some with lights, a tail light. That's a mini pump. It's so revolutionary that all these guys, Trek, Bontrager, have their own pump. Topeak, Prestaflator, and Silka have pumps as well, and they're all coming to me. So I'm gonna have a whole shootout of these guys. The tried and true is this guy, the Cycplus Pro. I've had this for a year. Been through many battles, and it's still working fine. It's not without problems. And as soon as I test this, I'm gonna give you guys pros and cons of these little devices. 120 grams. And 4.5 times 29er tire, that's 2.4 to 24 psi. But now they have a new one, the Cycplus Pro Ultra, and it's 30% smaller than the old one. So this is 120 grams. This one is 87 grams, and it's quite a bit smaller, maybe 20% smaller. So who is this for? And I'm gonna find out. If you are into the minimalist 87 grams and you really want to pack it into your, your little bag or in your pouch, then you're paying for the last few grams, and this is like 30% lighter than the past ones. Okay, so what we're gonna do today, it's made of magnesium, and that's how they save weight. The battery is a little smaller, so I'm curious. I'm like, okay, what did they give up? Did they give up more pumping power, more speed? And we'll weigh it. It is 88 grams. And the big one is 120 grams. They also have a max, which is a big boy, 40% bigger, if size doesn't matter too much. So what we have here is a 29er tire, 2.4. It's the same tire that I've been using for all my testing and for consistency's sake. So we put it to 0, and how you use it is you press it really hard so you get a good seal. And it's pretty amazing because it has a Presta valve in there, even though it's not sticking out. And we have it set to 24 psi. We turn it on. 3, 4, 5. So it's pretty fast. 8, 9. And it's automatically going to shut off at the predefined pressure. Yeah. All right. And sure enough, it should be, 24 exactly. So let me deflate this. So that's one time. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to time lapse it so I can measure the time on the video. All right. And right now we're going to see how many times is this thing going to inflate this tire. So 4.5 times was what the Pro did. So aluminum case on the old ones, magnesium on the new ones. I find that metal case is good because this thing takes a lot of beating in your bag. It gets knocked around a lot. And then we are at 0. So now attempt number 2, we're still at 3 bars, 3 out of 3. Okay, so it is getting warm. I'm gonna put a glove on. Magnesium case, but getting hot. So when you use a road bike tube up to 120 psi is its capacity, it gets very hot, and you do need a hose so you don't melt your TPU valve. Less than 2 bars, I'm sure. So number 3 attempt. All right. I noticed that it did drop to 1 bar with about 30 seconds to go. So I'm not sure if we are going to be able to get the 4 inflations or 4.5 that the pro did. Fourth attempt. Let's see how far it goes. If you can push it to the limit. 22, 23, 24. Just made it. That's so cool. So 4 full inflations. And this is the 5th time. Three. Okay, so there we go. So 4 full inflations. The Pro did 4.5. But if you don't need all that inflation and you're optimizing for that weight, now you have an option. Pros and cons. So let's go with the cons. The cons are it is noisy. I give you that. It does get hot, and on a mountain bike, it's not a big deal if you do that once. Warm to the touch, but on a road bike to get to 120 psi, it will get hot, and you do need a hose to protect the TPU and your valve from separating from each other. Another weakness, I would say, this is a Cycplus thing, is most of them are not waterproof. So if you are going to get it wet, you're going to sweat a lot on it, because it breathes through the USB port. They give you a bag, a sealed bag, to keep it dry. It's important. It does fail. Another weakness is the gauge is on top, okay, and where it actually works like how I used it, but how you inflate a tire usually is like this. Yeah, you go from the top, and if the gauge was right here, then you don't have to crouch down. And finally, the other weakness is there's a pressure gauge right here, and it can get clogged with sealant. Sealant's always splashing around with that. And when it gets clogged, it reads a much higher reading. Sometimes I had one that was reading 170 psi, so it would not turn on. So it's an extreme case. 87 grams of weight, 4 inflations, and now you're able to set your pressure at the parking lot to perfection, and then you can try different pressures while on the trail. But most important, it can rescue from having a bad day. If you have a mountain bike, if you have a commuter, they have these little hoses that are so convenient for Schrader on e-bikes. So there you go, my friends. Like I said, we're gonna have a shootout with everything. We're even put on the some cheap Fantics and compare everything as to how they perform out there on this kind of test. Thank you.